Hi, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Amanda here, still on a quest for making love, not war, out to help angry wives and their spouses. Today, we have with us another special guest. It's Dr. Amanda Noelle. Welcome to the show, Amanda.
It's fabulous to be here. Welcome, everyone, and thanks for having me here, Amanda.
Yeah, we're called the same. That's kind of funny. And Amanda Noelle, Dr. Amanda Noelle is a twin flame expert, and we're going to get much more into that. First, I want to ask, where in the world are you right now?
I'm in Austin, Texas.
I knew that already, but I'm going to show this.
You had me spied on, didn't you? Awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
And because we're talking to people all around the world, we've been to southern France, which is apart from north of Italy, Serbia. It's the only European speakers we've had on. And then we've got a guy from India. And yesterday we were talking to someone from New Zealand. So it's great to connect with the whole world. I am dying to know your work. Please enlighten me and the listeners. What is it?
Yeah, so I always kind of have to assess who I'm talking to, and this is probably true for all of us. We want to be able to speak the language that the people that we're here with speak. So I'm going to do my best because I know that this is a global tribe. I work with women, mainly single women, although that's been changing because my work is so fast and it helps single spiritual women call in their twin flames. So now I'm getting requests of like, okay, we've gotten married. What do we do now? But essentially I help women call in or align their partnership by aligning within themselves. So it's really about healing any past lives, any current life energy, any traumas or beliefs, because we are made up of thoughts. Yeah. So I help women really think about what they want to create. We do the inner transformational work, and then we birth it. And we actually do it including all parts of themselves, which includes the sacred sexuality, which is something that we're kind of like, like, I don't want to talk about that, but it's so important because it's a huge part of us.
So I'm writing it down. Good. Keep talking.
Yeah, so I guess I'm just going to tune in because it's such a broad question. Essentially, I started Aphrodite University about 4 or 5 years ago, and it came while I was in meditation, and I was guided to help unborn children, that spirits, to reincarnate. And they told me that they, being angels and guides, said in order for these children to reincarnate, they have to have healthy parents, and that there is a toxic energy in relationships that were causing people not to be able to align in a way that would support these new souls that are coming in, the crystal children, the diamond children, the rainbow children, all these different types of highly sensitive and highly advanced beings. They actually need healthy, aligned chakras in their parents, but also the relationships have to be one of divine union. So that's what came through, and I was like, how do I create this? And the way that I work is not through my head, it's through channeling and guidance, and a lot of it comes from being connected to the divine feminine and really listening to the place where all life comes from the original source. And I do so, and I teach my clients to do so by listening to their wombs.
Interesting. So it's not words, it's just intuition or guidance or like.
Well, in the beginning, we don't have language yet. So we can't write the words and get the answers of what we're meant to do, whether we're looking for a partner, how do you write up your words on your online dating profile, or what do you say? Before we even get to the language place, we need to actually be in a vibration of deep love and connection with spirit. And so what I do is I help women get in touch not only with Father Spirit, Father Sky, which is what we've been taught to do our whole lives through, different temples and religions and things, because we've been living in a more, male focused patriarchal rule until very recently. After thousands and thousands of years, it's like, boom, the 1960s came, psychedelics, women started, waking up. And now there's this rise of divine feminine energy and divine feminine wisdom. And so our physical forms are are needing to be accessed. So we're not only thinking from our brains and loving from our brains, which is connected to more Father Sky. Most of our religions were like the law says, but the divine feminine aspect is I feel, I intuit. And this starts with absolutely no language. It comes with pure listening. And from that 0 point, from that still water, then the answers start to come. And so it's a different type of, I'm looking for a man and I need to have this, this, and this, and this.
I get that. Yeah.
It's coming from this deep soul connection to the empty space of the divine feminine.
Yeah, it's like a feeling inside. And then that can guide you to where do I feel the same kind of peace. Or like.
Yeah, well, a little bit about quantum physics is that 99.9% of matter, me, is made of empty space. And in fact, if I were to touch you on your cheek, I wouldn't actually be contacting you because there's a little tiny electromagnetic space between you and I. And so that space, we're always longing to come back home and have that connection. We have this deep longing, and the listening is important, but it's also about really finding out what we are here on a soul purpose, what our soul purpose is, and to have a direct connection to source to guide us to what that is. So it's about, and I'm doing a little bit of channeling here. I'm just trying to listen to what your audience needs. Yeah. It's about connecting to ourselves, listening to whatever you call it, universe, love, creator, and finding out and being guided to that person. And you'll have some clues like, I think we're supposed to work together and do this. But it's this unfolding and organic kind of discovery versus the old paradigm, which is you go to college, you graduate, you get married, you're having a baby by this age, and it's not allowing for you to really feel into what spirit is wanting for you. Does that make sense?
It does, because I think some of the angry wives, at least the ones that are the same as me, that type of anger, they're very ambitious, and they're probably angry because they're not fulfilling their higher purpose at work. They're very work driven. So that makes sense what you're saying.
That's great. Yes. Let's talk about that. So because this is so important right now, what you're doing with wives that are, frustrated. I think that it's not just
real anger and hate.
It's because there's part of the system. The system has been created with, collective consciousness, but also through the culture, which comes from history and religion and media, saying women should be like this, women should look perfect, and women should get married. And we don't even know what we're listening to, but we blindly fall into it. We blindly fall into, I should get married. I should speak to my husband like this. I shouldn't express myself like this. I shouldn't open my voice and say what I really feel. And believe me, men don't want that any more than you do. They might think they do, but it's all about breaking the mold and discovering a deeper, more divine place to come from. And it's the scariest and most exciting thing to do is coming from spirit, because we are spirit. We are, that 99.9% empty space. I mean, of course, we know that there's something more than here, but most of us don't even scratch the surface before thinking about getting married or, getting involved heavily with someone. And now I think more and more women are, but we have to undo this deep conditioning that makes us feel like we're bad or wrong or not beautiful enough, or we have to be in these corporate tracks, and it doesn't lead to happiness in my experience and in many of my clients' experiences as well.
Yeah, I extended the title to Make Love, Not War, and Make Money because
nice.
A money magnet on the show. I didn't really extend it as such, but I just think you have to have that aspect in order to break the angry wife cycle. You need to be making money to be a happy wife. It's part of it, or to be on that track, not focusing too much on it, not to be aggressive, but that needs to be in flow. Otherwise,
yes.
You're never going to be a happy wife.
Absolutely. Yes. I always envied women that could get married and have, the perfect picket fence kind of lifestyle. It was not my karma. I would often go to networking events and I was like, why can't I just fit in? I would go to a corporate job and my heart would just be crushed. And so I came from sort of the other side. Instead of leaving corporate after getting married, I actually left corporate when I was around 22, maybe 23. And I also left the kind of married life type of relationship. We were engaged, and I was like, I can't do this. So I had about 10 years while all the other women were struggling in their marriages. At the beginning, it looked like they were perfect. And then they're like, I'm thinking about getting divorced. I'm like, well, now I don't regret making the decision to leave that world. But the hardest thing for me is I had to financially support myself on my spiritual gifts. I went to Duke University, a top 5 American university at the time, was in a sorority, was in that whole have to be perfect woman, have to be at some point a perfect wife. And I basically dropped out of all of it. My sorority, I graduated from the university, but for me, the biggest achievement that I had to do first before getting married was to monetize my soul gifts. And of course, they found out my soul gifts was helping people get married and find their divine partner. And but then what came out of it was helping women emancipate themselves from the money, I call it the money slavery system, where it's time for money, where you have to go up this track, your hormones get all messed up, you're out of balance, you're burnt out, you don't know why you're here. And so what I do now is I have an MBA program at Aphrodite University. It's the Mistress in Blissness Administration, not your typical MBA. And it helps women birth their blissness from this divine feminine space so that they can call in their soulmate clients, not just their soulmate clients. And there's something about selling from your soul that teaches you how to sell from your soul in the bedroom with your partner, in the kitchen. Honey, let me sell you on cleaning the dishes. I'd like to speak up and say what I want. Relationships are relationships. They're sales.
Yeah.
We're selling ourselves all the time. So I think that's where women can really thrive as powerful leaders and wives, is to heal this gunk with the money systems. The corporate world, all these structures are starting to break down, and we get to create it how we want.
It's very hard to not be angry, at least as a woman in a corporate world, because that is at least what my husband said. I came home like a real mad 50s dad, yelling and screaming, and because you're in another gear and it's not healthy, not happy. And
it's hard because no one's saying, I'm angry. You have to kind of put a smile on, and there's some glamour to it. People come to work, their nice car, their nice outfit, and your picture of your kid on the desk. But it is hard because you can't say, hey, I feel like shit. Every day I think of quitting this job, but I've been here for 5 years thinking this, and you have to just kind of suppress a part of yourself. But sometimes our soul starts to dim, the light dims, or we start to die. And we can always resurrect ourselves, but it's so hard because you can't always share these feelings with your coworkers. And so that's why it's important to have these tribes, these amazing communities like you're creating here, and like my community at Aphrodite University, where women can come in and just take off the makeup, take off the veils, take off the bullshit, and just be like, this is what I want, this is what's happening. And that's a huge step for most women.
And I find you can't be successful in your business because I've tried many ways and it was a done deal, but something was missing. Because if I'm not happy in my relationship, if my love relationship is not working, then business just isn't working. So I find I have to start there, and then the rest will fall in place because then I am aligned with what I'm doing. So
I've seen actually a lot of women be very successful in their businesses, and their relationship falls apart because they fall in love with their business, and they start not dealing with the things that were in the relationship that were maybe already there. But then it's kind of like when you're on a shaky ground and you have a baby, and you just marry the baby energetically. That can happen with women's businesses. So there's different kind of patterns that I see with women when they have businesses. But the goal is really to be in alignment and really love yourself, love your clients, love what you do, and love your partner. And it does take healing and work, and you can have it all. That's the thing that women, we get so overwhelmed with, time, and our beliefs get conditioned so early that we can't have it all and really enjoy it. And we can. I'm seeing it happen. It's in myself, it's in you, and it's time to really bring love into all areas of our lives.
it may seem more difficult to deal with the human stuff, and then you just jump into business because that you can control and you're good at it, and you feel like you're not good at the love thing, so you don't look there. But it is kind of I'm saying it like AA. It works if you work it, because we've got now 24 different recipes for it, and if you just do the steps and you do it, it works, and it will start changing and shifting.
Yeah. Well, I think that being good at something doesn't always mean the way we think of being good at something. Sometimes being good at something is trying it, belly flopping, falling on your face, messing up, and being good at loving yourself and learning from that experience. Learning how to love yourself deeper is part of it, but also you're going to learn. Like, I teach my soulmate clients in our MBA program how to launch their business. I call it their blissness.
Yeah.
And so instead of following the template exactly perfectly, I say, here's the template. It helps. It's a lever. And the process is more about feeling like you're loving yourself and being in your bliss. And that's the biggest challenge I think we're all having right now, is how do we balance the feminine bliss and the masculine of getting it done, and building our wealth and our relationship. We do have both sides. We do have to work at it, and we also have to really give ourselves some pleasure and fun and nurture our inner child. That's most of us got yelled at in school, or we got some beliefs like we have to be good enough. And it's so great to feel like you don't have to be, you just be good enough for you.
Be yourself.
Just be yourself.
I find that you spend the first half of your life getting to know yourself, like truly. And once you hit that, then you spend the rest getting to learn to live with yourself. So it's kind of like half and half.
I spent a lot of my life unlearning what I thought was myself, and canceling out a lot of beliefs. And yeah, it's such a journey. It's such a journey. It's always perfect, right? Whatever we go through, it's to teach us those lessons and to learn to love deeper. And all the skills that women accrue in the corporate world, or whatever their the work past lives were, it always comes in to how they make money in their entrepreneurship, which is really cool to know that you've never wasted any time. It's always going to reincarnate.
Wow. Really interesting stuff you're teaching.
Oh, thank you. I know a lot of people tell me, they say, I thought you were kind of crazy at first. And I was like, no. But then there's something you said, and I started to feel it. And that's where, again, like, language is important. We need to learn how to express. And I'm still actually at a place of learning how to express this deep body of knowledge that I teach. Most women are like, womb wisdom, or, sacred feminine energy. What's that? We don't grow up with it. We focus on, making money from a very early age, getting into the top preschool, kind of going up to the top college. And it's like this connection to the feminine is considered like bullshit or woo-woo. And I have so many clients, they're like, let me ask my husband, if I can do this program, so we can budget and everything. And I'm like, okay, first of all, it's okay if you want to ask him, I'm not going to force you to, sneak money from your joint account or anything. But we need to get you clear of whether or not you want to own your sacred feminine energy, because he is going to be triggered. He's going to be like, what? I don't know. Like, I've never, we can't wait for our men to give us permission to be goddesses. They're never going to say, let me teach you how to be a goddess, or please sign up for this goddess awakening workshop. They don't know any more than, any other guy. So we need to really be our own guides, to become our own, what I call twin flame brides or high priestesses, so that we can be better lovers for them. They're angry at us because we haven't actually embodied the divine feminine as women. We look like women, we have the beautiful clothes or whatever we have, but they want us to actually embody the sacred feminine, or they can't fully ground their masculine without imbalances and frustration. So it's time to rise as divine feminine leaders.
It is. And I've never gotten that, ask your husband. I just tell him. I don't get that. I think in Denmark it's the opposite. Maybe it's actually the husbands that are afraid of the wives and have to ask them. I'm like, my brother says, I'm like, get it together. Come have a drink. What do you need to ask her for? And asking your husband just seems weird.
Yeah, that's great. That's really great. It's interesting. I have a lot of European clients that they they may be single, but they have a lot of like, I work on the psychic intuitive level as well. It's the gift that I discovered in my 20s. A lot of times it's not actually their husbands at all. It's actually just in their bloodline. It's in their energetic field from the old kind of patriarchal systems. And I also find that the European women, like, they get it because there's more of a connection to maybe like cooking and family in Europe a little bit more than I'd say in the US tradition. So at first there can be like, well, what's this womb wisdom and this, like sexuality? They're kind of like, it doesn't make any sense to my mind because the programming is deep. But once they open, they're like, yeah, this is, like, I'm a woman. I don't want to have to be like my husband. I want to connect with other women in sisterhood. I want to learn how to dance. And some of the work that I do is actually dancing and stripping away the veils. And women, you'd be surprised, a group of women taking their veils off in a sacred revelation dance to reawaken themselves as the twin flame bride. It's like the best thing. Being in your birthday suit, just like, yes, you're so beautiful. And the men, they just love it. They're like, they come back, they see their wife, she's just radiant and glowing, and they're like, what did you do? We're like, no, we can't tell you.
Yeah, it's a very good point. It does that to you then. So, do you have anything for the audience? I forget that we should talk about.
I really go with flow. So if you have any last questions, what do you think that your women would like to hear from me?
No, I was also thinking some of the speakers have something, so the audience, if they choose to go deeper with you, they can download a free gift.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me just say that this session it's called a twin flame activation session. We didn't talk a lot about twin flame energy, but essentially twin flame is the balance of sacred feminine and sacred masculine energy. And when we align that within ourselves, when we marry these energies, we become whole and aligned so that our partner can reflect and mirror that. So it also ultimately is also a term for the word beloved or soulmate. So it's a twin flame activation session. This is a gift that I would like to offer your audience. And it's for women who are ready to align with their divine partner. It's a 30-minute one-on-one session, and I urge you to apply. Anyone who applies, even if you don't get approved, because I do have a limited number of spots, you will get an equal value of some goodies and bonuses, a course that I teach, and some other yummy things. The twin flame activation session will help you identify your hidden blocks. We'll take a look and explore what you want to create in your marriage, or if you're single, to call in your divine partner. If you're in a marriage situation, there's a disaster, we're going to help you create what you do want. Get really clear on that and create a roadmap so you can call that in. And
definitely help a lot of people.
Yes, absolutely. And when you apply, if you are looking for more of a business-oriented session, because we do have spots right now in the MBA program, just let me know in the notes and we can switch your session to a 6-figure blissness breakthrough session if that's something that calls to you. And that's really about creating a soul-aligned 6-figure blissness in 12 months. So we would map out the steps that you need to take to do that, to call in your high-paying soulmate clients.
I think me personally, I would love that. But for the angry wives out there who are not yet like kind of going in the right direction, I think the twin flame tuning in and aligning will really kickstart that whole journey towards making love, not war. So that instead of having 9 out of 10 times you argue, when you have a positive experience. So we really need to start with that.
Awesome.
Get it off the ground.
Yeah. So do you have the link for that? Are you going to be posting it, or do you want me to give the link to that?
There will be a link for your free gift in the email. I'm telling this to the listeners and to you. So the day your interview comes out, that day there is a link to your free gift. And
awesome.
I'm going to be on everybody's back to pick at least one expert and go with their advice and just follow that and just do the steps and do what they tell you. So if this or meditation or whatever they choose, just choose one thing and go with it.
Nice. Yeah, I love that.
Perfect. Wow, really great. I can't wait to try your stuff out. I'm really inspired by it, and I really believe in it. I think it's wonderful work that you're doing.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's been really amazing to try it out on myself. I was doing the work as a single woman actually. I was like, well, it's working. I'm really good at helping women fall in love and find their beloved and be happy. And um, but of course I was like, maybe I should do that for me now. It's about
Yeah.
time. And I had a lot of blocks on it. And it's incredible. It's really incredible having a partner that, you know, in the past I would fall in love with men and then I would get less and less in love and we'd have more and more problems. And the relationship that I'm in with my twin flame, every day it gets better and we learn more and we go deeper. And that's the direction that I want every one of you to go into with your partner and most of all with yourself.
Yeah, because love doesn't have to be a war zone. But it is a war zone because there is a lot of love. So there's a lot of feelings there. They're just pointing in the wrong direction, kind of.
Yeah, as long as we're warriors of love and we're committed to that. It's okay to battle. We're going to battle sometimes and doing it for the name of love. Amanda means beloved.
Yeah, or the one you should love or beloved, the same thing.
Well, I was just saying, in the name of love, and I just
Yeah.
realized both of our names are Amanda, which means beloved. And I personally, growing up, actually wanted to change my name because I was like, I don't feel loved. I have two great parents. I have, you know, really cool people in my classes, but I always felt really insecure and not good enough. So I always felt like my name was like a heavy cross to bear. But as I've healed it, and I'm like, yes, I have the name of love, being loved. So
When did you
yeah, spreading all of that love to everyone here, just knowing you're so loved and perfect.
Good, nice journey, and congratulations on the love that you found for yourself. You definitely deserve it, helping so many other people find it.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for creating such a beautiful, loving summit. I feel the energy and the people here are just incredible and amazing. And if you've listened to our interview to the end, it means that you're like an open mind. And that's just really awesome. I congratulate you for trying things in a new way and exploring your soul and connecting with other amazing beings.
Everyone can make love novel. We just need to practice, be guided.
Yeah, yeah. And it's just going to continue to spread.
So thank you so much for that support that you've given to me and all the audience out there. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.